Being an interesting conversation partner can be tough in your mother tongue. Ni hablar de tener una conversación interesante en español, through all the stammering, stuttering, and thinking about grammar. But, te cuento un secreto only professional networkers know, and that'll help you have amazing conversations in Spanish? Well, being a fascinating conversation partner is not so much about what you say, it's more about what you ask and how convenient. If you ask the question, you let them do the talking y no tendrás que hablar tanto español. So, in this video, I'll give you 10 preguntas interesantes en español para iniciar una conversación with anyone and make them feel like you're the most fascinating conversation partner ever. For example, the best deep questions to ask during a magical sunset at a Caribbean beach. Questions that will make your date open up and give you an instant connection with them and much more. So, are you up to it? Then, acompáñame. Número 1. Preguntas para hablar de lugares. When it comes to breaking the ice, asking about places or experiences can help, since it's simple and you don't get too personal. Also, if you're learning Spanish, you might find yourself in a new place and you can find out more about it. ¿Qué te gusta de vivir en blank? Great question to start introducing the topic. It can also give you a hint whether it is something the other person would like to talk about. So, aprende a leer las señales. ¿Qué lugares puedo visitar en blank? Most people like to talk about their city, and asking them for recommendations is a great way to keep a conversation flowing. ¿Has visitado blank? Or ¿conoces blank? This one is pretty useful, as you can ask about a particular place in the city or even about your city or country. Great way to get the ball on your side of the court and practice some Spanish yourself. En fin, funciona de las dos maneras. Chunk alerts. Learn the chunk en fin by heart and use it whenever you want to give a conclusion to an idea. It literally means something like in and that sounds weird, but you can see it as bottom line or in conclusion. I use it all the time in Spanish, so you know it comes from a trusted source. Making your own similar sentences will make you look up, grammar and research Spanish culture and learn not so useful vocabulary, and it will take you hours to finally use it. En fin, apréndete este chunk de memoria. For more chunks like these, check out our Spring Spanish Chunking Resource Library with PDF lists of the most important chunks you'll need in any conversations. Link in the description. Número 2. Preguntas filosóficas o existenciales. A mí personalmente me gusta mantener las cosas simples, but some moments or situations call for a very meaningful conversation about life, future, dreams, or fears. I mean, just picture yourself sitting on a Caribbean beach with your new best Latin friend, watching the sunset, listening to the sound of the waves. Are you really going to ruin that with, "¿Cuál es tu color favorito?" Of course not, right? So you better have your chunks ready then. Let's see some. Si tuvieras la oportunidad de pedir un deseo, lo que quisieras, ¿qué pedirías? Ok, vamos a calmarnos, Aladdin. No, but seriously, this is a cool way to start getting a little more personal and maybe get the chance to practice your Spanish listening, since I'm sure the answer will be like pretty long. ¿Por qué cosas en tu vida estás agradecido? Another great question to get to know your conversation partner and what is important to them. Si supieras que vas a morir mañana, ¿qué harías hoy? It might come off as a little grim, but you'd be surprised on how your conversation partner will open up to you to this question. Número 3. Preguntas para una cita. Special treat. One of the perks of learning Spanish is that you get to meet new people, so there's a new chance to make new friends y más que amigos también, ¿por qué no? So, I'll leave some questions you can ask on a first date with a Spanish-speaking native to get to know them better. ¿Qué cosas buscas en un hombre? ¿Qué cosas buscas en una mujer? This question might help you scan the terrain and see if you fit the profile for, a second date. ¿Por qué no me cuentas algo acerca de ti? That's right. Keep them talking in Spanish while you're practicing your listening and see if you have things in common. ¿Saldrías con alguien que blank? Very useful to know their likes and dislikes. You could ask something like, ¿saldrías con alguien más bajo que tú? Or, ¿saldrías con alguien que no se baña? Although we already know the answer to that probably. Para mí es importante blank. ¿Qué opinas de eso? Well, are you a vegetarian, Republican, soccer lover, or a family person? Then it's important to make sure that you and your date are on the same page. You could ask something like, para mí es importante la honestidad. Para mí son importantes los compromisos. Para mí es importante el béisbol. And finish your sentence with, ¿qué opinas de eso? Get your date to talk about what they think about it and see if there's a second date coming as well. Okay, recap. The most important questions. Yo sé que es mucho que cubrir, so let's recap a little bit. Preguntas para hablar de lugares. ¿Qué te gusta de vivir en? ¿Qué lugares puedo visitar en? ¿Has visitado o conoces? Preguntas filosóficas o existenciales. Si tuvieras la oportunidad de pedir un deseo, lo que quisieras, ¿qué pedirías? ¿Por qué cosas en tu vida estás agradecido? Si supieras que vas a morir mañana, ¿qué harías hoy? Preguntas para una cita. ¿Qué cosas buscas en un hombre o en una mujer? ¿Por qué no me cuentas algo más acerca de ti? ¿Saldrías con alguien que? Para mí es importante. ¿Qué opinas de eso? Okay, now you have asked your conversation partner all these questions and they are just chatting away excitedly, but you don't understand anything they're saying because it's like really fast. Well, Teacher Juan has you covered. I've made a video for you giving you 5 super useful tricks to understand native Spanish. One of them is how you can mimic the way babies learn to understand a language. With these tips, you will understand natives perfectly. Click the image that just appeared on your screen to find out, and I will see you there, my friend. Adios.